Hello and welcome to this first online lecture for this module, Theological Approaches to Mission Strategy. This first OL will be a very simple module introduction. So this module builds on your level 4 module, Historical Approaches to Evangelism. So it should consolidate some of the knowledge that you gained in that module, but also develop it to some degree. And it seeks to develop the theology and strategy behind mission and evangelism for churches. Okay, so we're looking at corporate church approaches to mission and evangelism and the strategy and theology behind them. And it's really all about equipping the church to let others know about God more effectively in a holistic way, in terms that make sense to each local context. So that's taking into account the time and place where a church finds itself, the local environment, the people who live in and around where the church is. So it's a highly contextual way of looking at mission and evangelism. Firstly, this quote from Kirk about theology of mission in general. Kirk says, "The theology of mission is a disciplined study which deals with questions that arise when people of faith seek to understand and fulfill God's purposes in the world, as these are demonstrated in the ministry of Jesus Christ. It is a critical reflection on attitudes and actions adopted by Christians in pursuit of the missionary mandate. Its task is to validate, correct, and establish on better foundations the entire practice of mission." So that last sentence in particular looks to say that it's really about developing, correcting, and setting on a better set of theological foundations how we do mission as a church. So a strategy, whether it's no matter what kind of strategy it is a considered plan of action which seeks to achieve particular aims. That's all a strategy in essence is. A mission strategy might be seen, therefore, as a plan of action which seeks as its main aim to further God's mission, or perhaps purposes, or kingdom on earth. That's all a mission strategy is. So we don't want to overcomplicate things. It's just a plan of action which seeks to further God's mission. Lying behind and informing such a mission strategy will, of course, be some kind of theology of mission, which says something of what mission is. So it is therefore, to look at the name of the module, it is a theological approach to mission strategy. And this obviously is the focus of this module, simply a theological approach to mission strategy. And it is my hope by the end of the module, you'll have some grasp of various different approaches to mission strategy, but perhaps an idea of your own theological approach and mission strategy. Most churches, and indeed most church leaders, will have both some form of strategy for mission and a theology of mission which informs it. While for some churches and church leaders, these may be clearly thought out and articulated. For others, they might be less so. Equally, a church's mission strategy might be highly contextual. All that means is the mission strategy will take into account and consider carefully the context in which a particular local church finds itself. Is it on a housing estate? Is it in an affluent area? Is it in an area of social and economic deprivation? Is it in a town centre? Is it rural? Those kinds of things. Just to close this very brief introduction to the module, I'd like to just consider carefully, briefly, the assignments. There's 2 assignments for this essay, and hopefully they make sense of the information we've just looked at. The first assignment is a church mission audit, which is 2,000 words equivalent. And in essence, what you'll be required to do for this is to explore by using an audit tool, that's questions, explore a church's mission, theology, and strategy. So that might include interviewing a church leader in a particular church. So obviously you'll need to be part of or on placement with a particular church, or attend a church for a while for the purposes of doing this mission audit, which will look at and listen for how the church does mission, its theology, and its strategy. And the second assignment, which leads on from the first assignment, is a reflection portfolio. Again, 2,000 words equivalent. And this will be reflecting on the audit that you did in the first assignment and how the church is going about mission. So you'll look at your first audit and your own experience of the church in question, and you'll offer your own reflections based on some of the reading and research that you've done, reflections on how the church is going about mission and the theology behind its mission strategy. Thanks for watching this first OL. I hope you enjoy doing some of the OL tasks and look forward to the next online lecture.